Hi, and welcome to another weekly update on my fitness journey. And let's start off with the usual by looking at my current weight. And look at that. Oh no, I have gained weight, 89 kilograms. What happened? This is a catastrophe. Well, I'll tell you what happened. Uh, you know, Even though you have fluctuations, it's a bit of a weight gain after all. And what happened this week was that this Friday my grandma passed away on my mother's side this time. And with her passing, my sense of judgment decided to go on a vacation or something. And I started eating junk, eating candy, eating some snacks, just a general pig fest, if you will. So yeah, that happened. And, as it was happening, as I was eating the candy, as I was eating the chips I had bought, I thought to myself, should I talk about this during the video log? I could ignore it. I could just lie by omission and not include it. But then I decided, these video logs, I made sort of a promise to myself to, not lie to myself at the very least. So, yeah, if I start lying now about what's going on, I really don't see the point in anything I'm doing right now. So yeah, that happened. What's so interesting is not the fact that my grandma died and therefore I had this mental health crisis and everything broke down and I just reverted back to comfort food and stuff like that. It's not quite like that. Of course, my grandma passing away made me sad. Of course it did. But it was not like we didn't see it coming. She had cancer, it was terminal, and it was far gone. And we basically were just sitting around waiting to see exactly when she would pass. And it happened to be this Friday. But yeah, my grandma, this whole situation around her death has been really terrible in every sense of the word, just awful. And, I'm not just sad because she's gone, I'm also sort of sad because of how it has affected my mom and how it has affected my grandma's partner, it's just, my heart goes out to them, and it's not just sorrow and grief for my grandma, it's also, I feel bad for them, and the shit they've had to go through in this entire ordeal. But the reason why I started eating candy this weekend after my grandma's passing, if I'm honest, I don't really think it has that much to do with grief or anything like that, but rather it was more like an excuse. Oh, I feel bad about my grandma. This is the perfect excuse to eat some candy. That's basically what it feels like right now. And I thought back to, what I said in my original video on this channel about what I called fat people logic and how it was sort of part of me. Well, guess what? Fat people logic has not gone anywhere. It's back, baby. And while I was, eating candy this weekend, while I was eating chips, I noticed the fat people logic at work, and it was doing some some heavy lifting. First it was like, yeah, my grandma just passed. Yeah, I'm bummed out about that. She enjoyed candy. I should eat some in her honor. Like the bullshit excuses I gave were non-stop. They were so so extreme. And then when I had started eating, I was like, oh, I've started eating now. Oh, I only ate a bit. Oh, a tiny bit more can't hurt, right? So yeah, I continued. And then when I had eaten a fair bit more than just a tiny bit, it was like, oh, now I've eaten so much that it doesn't matter if I eat some more, right? So yeah, I ate more after that. And then I thought, well, you know what? This weekend can be an exception. And on Monday, I begin anew. I have a clean slate then. And that's what I did. I decided, okay, you know what, fat people logic, I'm just gonna let myself be convinced. And the reason why is simply because I felt, some urges to eat candy and stuff like that this past period of time. Before my grandmother passed and I started eating like a pig, I was planning sort of having a talk about how the beginning of this week was kind of hard for me, and that I really had to, display a great amount of self control not to buy candy while at the grocery store. And the thing is, I've reflected a bit on it as I was eating all the candy this weekend, and I think things start when it comes to like wanting to eat candy and things getting out of hand. I don't think it started as early as my birthday. I think it was actually kind of fine at that point, but I think it can have sort of had this inkling of a start during Easter, actually, when I was playing my chess tournament. So during the night of that tournament, I had been playing chess for the entire day. It was late, and I did not have the option to just go out and get some food. So what I had done was to go to the grocery store and buy some of these protein bars, that you can buy. And the thing about these protein bars is that in the past, they tasted like shit. Like, they tasted properly awful. But nowadays, some brands are actually completely okay, in my opinion. They taste fine. And they do fill you up a lot better than you'd expect. And the thing is that the brands that don't taste bad, they taste kind of like real candy. And they don't use sugar as the main sweetener. They use artificial sweeteners instead. But the fact remains, it tastes like candy, and it sort of, awakens the slumbering beast inside of every person struggling with food addiction. And I think it may have started as early as that point, where sort of I ate those bars instead of a meal at night when I was hungry. It tasted good, and I was like, yeah, it tastes like candy. Nice. And then, of course, we had the experience at my sister's with her birthday, when I drank a lot of alcohol, and then I had a bad judgment, a total lapse in judgment, and ate cookies and just stuffed myself during that night. just adding fuel to the fire that had started burning, so to speak, previously that month. And then I went to Germany, and I gotta say, Germany may not be the best place to be if you're aiming to avoid sugar or candy, because what I noticed was that much more than in Sweden, you have this situation in Germany where they sort of market sweets or sweet things as regular food, sweetened things as regular food in a way that's not the same in Sweden. Yeah, we don't do that. Like if it's candy, it's candy. We don't muck around too much. I felt it was much more extreme in Germany than in Sweden, and I don't think that trip did anything good for my health journey in general. So it's just been the sort of growing thing inside of me that I've started having these cravings for sweets, for candy, for snacks, for this junk, really, that I had in the past. And yeah, it all culminated this weekend with my grandma's passing. I got the first excuse to just go ham, and I went ham like the good old days. I went ham like before it was New Year's, baby. When I was like not giving a shit about what I did or what I ate or anything. So I guess now it's time for me to take a deep breath and figure out what to do from here. Because I'm going to say one thing. I don't want to go back to the way it was, or to the back. I don't want to go back to the way I was at the beginning of this year. I've made significant progress. I've lost tons of weight. And that's an indication that I've done something right. And I want to continue with this journey. I don't want to waste everything I've done so far. And that means I just gotta get back on the wagon. You know, during this period, these I guess almost 2 months now, April and May, I have been sort of slipping, as I think I've talked about this earlier also. I've been kind of slipping in my, or maybe I should say I've been kind of, faltering in my conviction. And I haven't really been punished for it. I've still lost weight. So, yeah, I don't know. But at the same time, I know that if I just go back to the way I was, I'm gonna regain everything, all the weight, with some interest, probably. You could say that, what if I try to compromise? Say that, okay, now I fell off the wagon completely, but maybe my dieting has been too extreme. Maybe I can go to some sort of compromise where I eat healthy during the week, and then during the weekend, or maybe one day during the weekend, I can have a small piece of candy if I feel like it. I could do that. If I follow such a regime, I think it would be perfectly possible to maintain a healthy lifestyle. But at the same time, I don't think it's a good idea. Honestly, I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's just back to the basics. No candy at all. For the foreseeable future. Just go back to to the regimen I set out in my initial video. I think that's what I should do, actually. yeah, this video has been derailed in so many ways by my actions this past week. I was going to talk about my back pain issues and how I'm sort of starting to find avenues. I'm going to contact a physiotherapist this week and book a time and see whether they can help me or if they refer me somewhere else. And I've also thought about sort of when I considered my back situation, I've focused in the last video on all the things I couldn't do. But I think it's also worth considering what I can do still when it comes to my back. So I can still walk just fine. I can still do some exercises. Mind you, I can't do everything I could do a couple of months ago because of what's going on. But I can do some things. And I shouldn't feel like, I have to give up on exercise just because my back is having some serious issues. So I think there is hope there. And generally, I think pressure on me is slowly going down. I need to get a few things in order before summer. And then I will spend my summer doing my thesis. And that's going to be interesting, if nothing else. And before we finish this video, we have to, of course, do the mandatory ritual. It's also something I've noticed when I watch these videos. Like if you watch the first video and then you watch sort of the later videos, there is significant difference in my appearance. You can see my progress. Just everything I've done. I don't want this change to just go away because of my poor decisions. I don't want to give up just because I had this really bad I don't want to call it episode, But I don't want all my efforts to be wasted. So I guess it's just get back on track. And I feel optimistic about that. I feel optimistic about my prospects. And I guess that I can set sort of a weight goal at 85 kilograms. I think that's very reasonable as well as a goal, because then I will be officially within the normal span of weight if you consider BMI. Then I'm not considered overweight anymore. So that's fun. Yeah, I think I will end the video there. Pathologies or fat people logic or whatever you want to call it, they suck and they don't have to ruin your life if you don't let them. So yeah, have a good one. Goodbye.